the Young and the Restless Spoilers. After more than a week of confinement in a dark, secluded cell, coupled with relentless psychological torment, Jordan had resorted to drinking heavily. The alcohol, instead of offering solace, seemed to spiral her further into a state of mental instability. She exhibited clear signs of psychological distress, bordering on psychosis. Trapped and overwhelmed, Jordan found herself utterly lost, unable to see any escape from her dire situation. Victor, who had orchestrated her confinement, observed with increasing worry the deterioration of her mental health through the discreetly installed surveillance. Despite his deep-seated conflict and guilt, he felt paralyzed, unable to cease the operation that he himself had set into motion. The sight of Jordan, disoriented and unraveling, ignited a profound fear in him, yet he knew that taking her to a hospital would risk exposing their clandestine activities. The dilemma tormented Victor. On one hand, continuing to subject her to this ordeal would only worsen her condition, a consequence he could no longer bear to witness. On the other hand, seeking medical help would unravel the threads of secrecy that held his plans together. Amidst this turmoil, Victor's fear escalated as Jordan became increasingly delirious, her screams filling the cell and her words becoming a jumbled mess of incoherence. Faced with a critical decision, Victor knew he had to remain clear-headed. The stakes were high, and every moment he delayed, Jordan slipped further into the abyss of her mind, her cries for help echoing in the stark emptiness of her cell. Fearful yet trapped by his own actions, Victor stood at a crossroads, knowing something had to change, but feeling utterly powerless to mend the path he had so recklessly chosen. Desperate and conflicted, Victor reached out to Nate, fully aware of his medical expertise and past as a skilled physician. Victor knew Nate was ambitious and eager to gain his favor, which might make him more amenable to the precarious situation. Nate, motivated by a desire to prove his worth to Victor and secure a more significant role within Victor's plans, reluctantly agreed to visit the clandestine cell and attend to Jordan. Despite the ethical dilemma, the allure of being indispensable to Victor clouded his judgment, pulling him deeper into the murky waters of complicity. As Nate descended into the cellar, the gravity of what he had agreed to do struck him. Confronted with Jordan's deteriorated state, he realized the seriousness of his involvement. Victor trusted Nate with this sensitive task, placing him in a position that tested not just his medical skills but also his moral compass. In the dim light of the cellar, Nate worked to stabilize Jordan, all the while wrestling with the moral implications of his actions. The more he became involved, the more he understood that his association with Victor could lead to severe consequences, including potential legal repercussions for aiding in such a dubious scenario. Faced with a critical decision, Nate contemplated his next steps. Could he continue down this path of complicity with Victor, or would his conscience compel him to betray Victor and report the situation to the authorities? The choice was fraught with risk but illuminated a clear divergence in his ethical journey. What Nate chose next could redefine his entire future, either entangling him further with Victor or setting him on a path toward redemption.